そうすれば禰豆子だけじゃなく、もっとたくさんの人が助かりますよね。
What's going on, guys, and welcome to Tasty Flicks. My name's Seth. This is Chevy. We just watched episode 8 of Demon Slayer. Quick recap. We are left in the continuation of Tanjiro running into Muzan. I forgot the next part. I will get it eventually. I almost had it when it came to names. In which he turned somebody into a demon as a distraction for him and his wife and child to walk away. Tanjiro is left restraining a demon that has attacked his wife but not killed her, and he is trying to control the situation, all the while control his own emotions, as the dude who is responsible for everything that's gone wrong in his life is just walking away. He is then introduced to some crazy psychedelic visuals, but also two new characters, Tamayo and Yushiro, who we find out later are they themselves demons, but demons that don't do all the bad things that demons do in Demon Slayer. They apparently buy blood. I got that correct? Okay. And they do not... Yeah, by his blood.
You mean to eat?
In general, yeah. They're saying that they do it as...
they purchase transfusions.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, so he meets them, and they go and do their thing. We'll get into that in a sec, but we see Muzan later walking down an alleyway after leaving his wife and kid to go back home, and he runs into some people, and we get a taste of his essentially power level. He runs into some drunks, and an altercation happens where he punches it or barely flicks his wrist at a dude, and he flies into a wall and dies. And then a second dude he kicks, and he goes flying into the air, and he's dead essentially before he even hits the ground.
He just crumples.
Yeah, and then a really disturbing and gross scene where Muzan puts his finger into a girl's head, and essentially injects her with so much of his own blood that her body just kind of fucking deteriorates in a really disgusting way.
Can't handle the
because the
essence.
Yeah, her body, human bodies can't handle that much of what he's giving out. He also then summons two minions, I guess, and sends them after Tanjiro and his crew. One being seemingly a girl with two balls, and another dude who I guess has arrow eyes. So I'm sure we'll find out more about them in the coming episodes. Tanjiro goes back to Tamayo's house, I assume, after being summoned by Yushiro, who calls Nezuko an eyesore, and funny scene happens there where Tanjiro takes a second to understand what he could possibly mean by that, and definitely is not happy with that, as he complains the whole time.
Takes a lot of pride in his sister.
Yeah, very, very upset with that. It's pretty funny. And then, essentially they go back. They talk about what Tamayo and Yushiro do, and Tamayo reveals that not only is she 200 years old and responsible for Yushiro being a demon, also that she would like Tanjiro to help her create a medicine for demons to turn back into humans, by A, letting her study Nezuko's blood, and B, having Tanjiro go collect blood samples of specific demons and they're going to work together to make a medicine. And yeah, Yushiro has a very fixated interest in Tamayo.
I think the only part you missed was while he was restraining the guy in the street, he turned and threatened, what's his face? I can't remember his name.
Muzan, and said that he would
kill him.
He would kill him, cut his head off.
Which irritated him being talked to that way. So
yeah. And then also I missed as well because I wasn't done, but we are left with another cliffhanger where the two minions of Muzan, I almost have the other part of his name, but I can't remember it. They show up throwing a ball through a wall, bouncing all over the place, and I assume some kind of conflict is going to happen in the next episode, which I'm very curious about. And yeah, this is another good episode. Another thing I missed too that I think is the conclusion we all deserved was him going back to the udon guy and not only eating one bowl of it, but two bowls. That the guy was not even upset that he broke the bowl or dropped the food, but that he didn't eat it.
It's disrespectful to his cooking.
Yeah. So he ate it, and we're all better for it. This is another episode that has a lot of stuff going on in it at once. It's amazing how much they can pack into like 24 minutes into an episode. But yeah, really interesting stuff going on here. Interesting to see more demons that are not fully committed to the demon lifestyle and trying to find alternatives. Also interesting seeing a demon who's been around for 200 years. As we know, Muzan's been around for 1,000, so she's been around for a while. And also interesting to see her having essentially an assistant that I don't know if I fully understand the full backstory on that, but is interesting. Also interesting to see an introduction to what I kind of assumed was going to happen, people to be possibly picking off before he gets to Muzan. I don't know if that's the way it's going to work, but he does have henchmen that are going to need to be eliminated. So we're introduced to them. They seem to have their own quirks to them that I'm interested in. It was kind of cool to see the dude who's tracking Tanjiro with his hands, see from his perspective. Kind of gave you some insight on how he works, which wasn't needed but appreciated. The show does a lot of stuff like that, which I like. Even in a prior episode when it was like a first-person view of Tanjiro with his sword, that's not something I was expecting, but it's cool to see. So they're definitely thinking in a lot of interesting ways when it comes to how to display the storytelling. I also think it's interesting that I don't know if it's going to continue the same way, but it's interesting that he was sent here on a mission, and now he has a new mission from Tamayo that I'm sure he's going to do. It's like when you're playing a video game and you're doing the main quest, you start getting side quests, and it's fucking starts getting hard to continue that main quest. But I guess his actual main quest is closer than ever, with Muzan being in the same city that he's in. Also, was cool to see. I mean, it was cool to see Muzan's power, but at the same time disturbing, because the way he killed that chick was like disgusting and unneeded, and she's the one. She didn't say shit or do anything, so it's like, and not only does it show that he's able to kill people like they're nothing, but also he doesn't really give a fuck about people if he's just murdering them willy-nilly like
Humans
that.
are just food to demons.
Yeah. So it's just, well, it's weird though, because most of them are like out hunting and stuff, and he's living among them. So that the way he just went about doing that was like disturbing.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. It is also disturbing in this episode to watch Tamayo just rip her own arm open. It was very, very graphic, more graphic than I would assume, especially accompanied by the crazy floral visual style. It was a lot to take in at once.
There's a requirement for that ability.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just in like a lot of things, I would assume you just see like scratches, but like you could see her actually like digging through the flesh and blood just
Yeah.
dripping everywhere and shit. I was like, Jesus Christ, the show. And you said it too when the girl got killed. We were like, this is meant for teenagers. So it's just it's funny how graphic it is. It's all animation, so it's not like that big of a deal, but it's animated well, so it's pretty detailed. Yeah, it was a good episode. I liked like where things are going. I'm always stoked to be introduced to new characters, and we got like 4, 5 if you include Udon Guy that we've been introduced to in this episode that I feel like are going to be major players or possibly kill in the next episode. I don't know. We'll find out. But it is cool to see another step in the progress of Tanjiro's journey, but also a new objective to be accomplished with getting samples of these demons. I feel like it's going to be like a hit list possibly of people he's going to have to go after, unless she just wants any demon, but it seemed like she wanted specific ones. So
She said ones that were closest to Muzen's power level. So,
yeah.
ones that have received a lot of his blood.
Which I assume will be like his henchmen or some shit, but we'll find out. Yeah, thoughts?
I mean, I just agree with your sentiment of them essentially just doing a really good job constantly of visuals, specifically in this episode where
Yeah, there's a lot of visuals here, from the floral design of her scent. I forgot what they said. Blood
abilities in the show pop like crazy.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
even
think it's
Tanjiro's with the water.
yeah. Well, and then the ball is like that the demon's holding are really brightly colored as well, and the eyes on that dude's hands are really brightly colored too. So I really like that style that they use in this
Very
anime.
pronounced, yeah.
It really it really shows off like it wants you to see or to highlight abilities really, really boldly, so that they're unmistakable, and I really like that. Plus, with the darker tones and stuff like that, the bright colors are kind of refreshing to see in violent scenes, because it takes a little bit away from like the darkness of it. So,
Yeah, this show so far seems to walk on a pretty fine line of going full bore, horrific scenes, dark stuff.
yeah, it's pretty close to being an adult anime.
Yeah, it could easily be that, but then it also has a good way of balancing back to vibrant colors, an art style that's not too like gritty looking. It's got a really popping look to it, and then sprinkling in the comedy bits and
With dopey expressions and stuff like that. Yeah.
which is definitely needed because like I said, it's really balanced in that regard, because if they sort of like full on to the dark stuff, which there are animes that I've seen in the past that are just like dark ass animes, it gets a little grating after a while. You got to have some stuff that balances it out, and with the amount of stuff this show puts into one episode, somehow they do a really good job of like balancing so much in every single episode. And of course, some episodes have more humor than others,
For sure.
but yeah, it's pretty impressive with how much they shove into an episode.
Yeah. I think one other thing I really like is when they were showing the Arrow guy's ability, or teasing it, I should say.
The DDR pad on his hands.
Yeah, I like how he saw the footprints and had like that misty look, but then like the footprints had like very pronounced, bright colored arrows in the direction the person was walking to. So it was really interesting, like you said, to see his perspective on his ability. Essentially, like he knows people went this way, how many sets of footprints, yada yada yada. That's why the invisible wall didn't matter, because he just followed them. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Because otherwise, it'd be hard to be like, oh, how'd they figure that out? Well, he can just track them. So
he literally could see the
and
footprints.
the other one can't. So she's just fucking along for the ride because they were given orders. So
she's the muscle.
yeah.
So as she completely bombarded that building very instantly as soon as they got there. So
Yeah, I was surprised how quickly that just took off. I was waiting to. I mean, it makes sense with how this show's going so far. They keep you coming back, but I wasn't expecting them to. I assume they just show up and have something to say, but they definitely made an entrance with what they did. So
They were told to kill him.
yeah,
So, yeah, these are really good episodes too, just because like they do a lot of like hype building, and then the episode just stops, which obviously like feels bad in the moment, but it's also like really good because it makes you really want to watch like the next one. So
well, and if I wasn't doing this as like a review show, I would just probably binge through it pretty easily. But it's also a lot of fun to kind of dissect these episodes, so it's worth it.
makes it easier, or it's gonna be better for memorizing it as well, like talking through it as well, because you know, you remember things better when you interact with it in some way. So outside of just mindlessly watching.
Yeah, well, I'm remembering names better than I typically do in anything. So,
But I don't remember at all. So.
yeah, well, I have to talk about something like,
Yeah.
I gotta remember that fucking name. Yeah, so we'll find out if they're successful in the next episode and they kill everybody. And Muzan can go back to living that family life, apparently.
Cushy life.
Yeah, just like Michael Jackson, which got a couple people killed. So I gotta watch my mouth on that. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of episode 8 of Demon Slayer, and is it getting good? Are you excited for me to see the next episodes? I'm sure anybody watching this has already seen the series, and if you haven't, hopefully you're following along with us on episodes, so you're not just like going, what do they think about the show I've never watched before? And yeah, we'll catch you on episode 9 and any further reviews we have for movies, which I have plans for those to be coming out very soon. So stay tuned and make sure to subscribe to Tasty Flicks. My name's Seth. This has been Chevy, and we'll see you on the next episode.